Buenos dias, Zamboanga. Welcome sa PIA Kapihan na Zamboanga sa SM City Minpro. Hatid sa inyo ng Philippine Information Agency, SM City Minpro, Mindanao Communicators Network, Mindanao Cable Television at e-media. We are live po via PIA Western Mindanao Facebook page and other government agencies' Facebook pages. Also, we are live at PRO 9, the Northern News Flash, 1TV Philippines, ISA TV Channel 17, PCH Cable TV, and via cable televisions here in Zamboanga City at MCTV and e-media. Happy Kapihan po muli sa lahat nating mga viewers. Kumusta po tayo? And of course, we would like to greet our Barangay Information Officers Network who are always watching us po sa ating program. Ang Kapihan na Zamboanga po will discuss important topics that will help you make more informed decisions wherever you are. Kaya ngayon po sa ating programa, let's welcome po ang ating panauhin po mula sa Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, PHIVOLCS Zamboanga. We have with us, of course, ang ating suki po dito sa ating programa. We have Engineer Alan Labayog. Welcome po, Engineer.
Hi, ma'am, good afternoon sa lahat, especially sa mga nanonood ngayon. Good afternoon.
So, Engineer, ito po, syempre, pag-uusapan po natin, kukumustahin natin how's the earthquake, preparations, tsunami disaster preparations here in Zamboanga City and even in Zamboanga Peninsula. But before that, what are the current volcanic and seismic activities that you monitored or you are closely monitoring now?
For dalawa kasi yung monitoring natin, ma'am, bali earthquake and volcano. Now, for volcano, our institution is monitoring the 6 most active volcanoes in the Philippines, namely one is Hibok, Bulusan, Mayon, Pinatubo, Taal, and yung yung pinakasikat ngayon yung Canlaon. Now, for earthquake monitoring, well, daily, all areas with earthquake generators, may monitoring tayo talaga. 24 hours a day yan.
So yun, dalawa yung minomonitor natin. You mentioned po na minomonitor natin yung 6 active na volcanoes dito sa Philippines. How about po dito concerning our area, dito lang po around Zamboanga Peninsula, Basulta? Meron po ba tayong active volcano rin dito na we are monitoring na possible na mag-erupt din?
Yung active volcanoes for the entire Philippines, we have 23. Then kaya nga sinasabi ko, yung 6 active volcanoes lang minomonitor natin, but other volcanoes, may mga active pa rin tayo. And for this area sa atin, sa Western Mindanao, we have 1 active volcano. And presently, it is located sa Sulu Province, sa Jolo mismo. It is Mount Budaho.
So far po, wala pa naman pong signs, or may possibility ba, Engineer?
Well, yung possibility nandun palagi, ma'am, because it is considered to be one of the active volcanoes sa Philippines.
So, Engineer, how does the PHIVOLCS po assess the risk of a major earthquake? You mentioned po earthquake and yung ating volcanoes yung minomonitor natin. How do you assess po the risk in eruption, earthquake po dito sa Philippines?
Okay, when you say risk, meron tayong 4 na parameters na binabantayan. One of them is yung hazard, a source of danger, yung pinaka main. Then the second is vulnerability, yung assets na yung weakness ng asset or place. Then we have the exposure, yung physical aspect talaga mismo ng mga things na exposed sa earthquake. Then you have also the capacity. Now, to make it short, kung mas mataas yung capacity mo, mas maliit yung risk. While if you have less capacity, mas mataas yung risk mo. So ganun yung tingin ng institutions namin. We base on the hazard, vulnerability, exposure, and the capacity.
So thank you po Engineer for sharing that with us. At least meron kaming a little bit of idea paano nga yung monitoring natin. With that po being mentioned, you know that nowadays digital na po tayo. We have a lot of equipment na ginagamit So what are the latest advancement po? If we have advancement po in earthquake and volcanic monitoring technology being used by PHIVOLCS?
Well, yung ginagamit naming instruments or equipments for PHIVOLCS, we are all in yung lahat ng format ng data gathering are all in digital format na. So medyo hindi tayo malayo sa ibang bansa, especially for Japan, because some of the equipments that we have here, for example in Zamboanga City, these are all donated by Japan. So we share the same equipment with Japan or likewise. So lahat yan naka-digital format. So in a way, medyo mataas na yung level natin when it comes to monitoring.
So that's good news po, engineer, no?
Yes,
Na at
ma'am.
least kahit papaano advance yung technology
Advance, ma'am.
that we are using. Tapos mabilis rin yung reporting natin, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Kapag may mga ganun tayong activities na monitor. Sir, ito ano lang po para siguro ma-enlighten din, no, yung ating mga viewers on the alert system. So can you explain po paano yung alert system for volcanoes, for earthquakes, and what each level signifies?
Okay, for volcano, we have the 6 most active volcanoes in the Philippines, and yung alert level for volcanoes hindi magkapareho, ma'am. Let's say from Mount Pinatubo to Mount Taal or Mount Canlaon, hindi sila magkaiba because one of the reasons that magkaiba yung dynamics sa baba and at the same time yung behavior ng eruption. But in general, we start with alert level 1, alert level 0 which is normal, then alert level 1, low unrest, volcanic unrest. Then second is yung moderate volcanic unrest. Third is yung high. Then you have the imminent eruption. And lastly, you have the level 5 which is the eruption in progress. That would be more for volcano. But for earthquake, iba din, ma'am. So we measured it in terms of intensity. Now, the intensity that we use here in the Philippines, medyo from 1 to 10 tayo. So medyo mataas-taas siya. So may each one of them may mga descriptions. So ganun yung
Intensity 1 po is the lowest.
yes,
Oo,
intensity 1 is the lowest and the intensity 10 devastating na yun talaga, ma'am.
So in what level po should a resident ba or siguro po yung mga residents no natin para mag-evacuate na? So for volcanoes, in what level po dapat?
Usually kapag volcanoes nasa 3 kasi if you look at kung titingnan natin yung Canlaon, sa 3 pa lang may mga advisory na sila for especially for the permanent danger zone. And for earthquake, mga intensity 5 because this is the time na kapag intensity 5 classified as strong earthquake na siya. Then kung titingnan mo sa manual diyan or sa booklet namin, that is the start of yung tao mismo pwede lang tumakbo na palabas. Mean to say that would it is a sign na medyo malakas na yung lindol. That would be a strong earthquake classification already.
Eto, engineer, kasi recently nga meron tayong mga reports na nakikita, no, the recent happening in Myanmar and Thailand, and then the recent din po that we had here in in the Philippines, no, mga kalapit lang din natin na regions, we're always experiencing earthquake. So paano po yung ating vulnerability, no, dito sa Zamboanga Peninsula, as if we situate, no, ano po yung most vulnerable areas natin for yun, earthquake?
Okay, let's say for earthquake, medyo dalawa yung vulnerability natin dito because you have the earthquake itself. And considering na yung movement or dynamics ng Sulu Trench and Cotabato Trench are all vertical, so mean to say, the second vulnerable, we are all vulnerable, especially the coastline, vulnerable sa tsunami. That is the reason why yung Zamboanga City and other Western Mindanao areas, yung preparation talaga is dapat medyo nakataas tayo. Because dalawa yung pinagtitingnan natin, tsunami and the earthquake itself.
Kanina po off-cam, I was curious, no, nag-ask po ako na gaano po ba kalaki yung chance of having a tsunami here in Zampen? Tapos ano po yung level of earthquake magnitude ba para merong signs po na magka-tsunami?
Okay, ang chances of having a tsunami here in Zamboanga Peninsula is nandun palagi. Because the average number of earthquakes per day is 35. So mean to say, yesterday we had 35. Today we will be having 35. And tomorrow there will be 35. And the problem is, baka may malakas bukas, mamaya. So that's yung tinatawag natin na facts talaga yan. So yung vulnerability nandun palagi. Now, if there will be a tsunami here in Zamboanga City, most likely it will be coming from the west part of Zamboanga Peninsula. Na medyo malaki. Why? Because the western part of Zamboanga Peninsula, the last movement was in 1897 pa. Unlike dito sa Cotabato Trench, 1976, and lately meron din siya. So, in terms of size, medyo mas malaki yung expected size dito sa Western Mindanao. And yung model diyan for the Sulu Trench is nasa 8.3. Model yan ha, model. So, medyo malaki. Just imagine yung hit na nangyari sa Myanmar, it's only 7.7. And just imagine 8.3.
So, yun nga po, that's what we are always talking about, yung the big one, no? Sinasabi
The bigger one.
Oo. The bigger one na ngayon, oo. So, kung ganun po yung ina-expect natin, how do we help po, for PHIVOLCS, how do we help the local community prepare?
Well, okay. Number one is we conduct research and development. And the result of this research and development is through hazard maps. Yung mga hazard maps na yan, binibigay sa LGU natin. Okay, that will be the first. The second is, we have this IEC, Information Education Campaign, sa mga communities din. So, either they invite us, or they invite the, let's say, for Zamboanga City setting, it will be the CDRIM-O. So, that will be the second. The third is, meron na tayong mga, ginagamit natin yung SOCMED din. May mga platforms tayo na ginagamit na for people to engage, especially for hazard mapping. Pwede silang just a click of their cell phone ba or computers, they could access already. So those are the things na ginagawa namin.
So meron na pala tayong online, no, so that people can monitor then always yung high-tech na din talaga po ngayon, engineer.
Yes,
I can kahit nga yung weather pwede na natin talagang ma-anticipate, no. So meron na rin tayo for that, for the earthquake preparation. And we know that the Philippines, no, our Philippine government nagkakandak talaga parati po nung ating quarterly na earthquake drill. So how do you assess that po? Ano po yung mga rooms for improvement for us to be able to prepare for that, especially nakikita natin sa mga offices lang siya ginagawa, sa mga kadalasan sa mga public areas, dito rin po sa malls. So how do we assure na yung ating mga households, yung ating mga communities should also be aware po sa mga ganyan?
Okay, sa conduct of earthquake drill, we conduct earthquake drill siguro four times a year, quarterly. But sa base sa personal observation ko, medyo naging stagnant na tayo doon palagi. Because when we conduct earthquake drills, we keep on having this simple evacuation procedure. So what is that? So you drop, cover, and hold, go to the exit, then go to the evacuation area. That is yung ginagawa natin.
Regular process, oo.
Regular, naging routine na yan. But hindi natin nakikita yung other variety of conducting an earthquake drill. So I think we should level it up now. Because master na natin yun eh. Then second is, majority of the earthquake drill na kinakandak natin are not following yung scenario based talaga. So just for a simple evacuation, drop, cover, and hold, takbo lang. But kung you observe, that would be the same routine for how many years. So I think we need to level it up. Yung tinatawag natin, masinsinan talaga na, base na talaga sa design na plan mo.
Yes. Especially now po, engineer, no, na we have seen what happened in other countries. So dapat mas mag-level up din yung ating mga preparations now. Kasi pwede nga pong mangyari doon sa mga countries na yun which are only closer lang din sa Philippines. So hindi po imposible that it will also happen here.
Yes, then second observation naman is we keep on having this earthquake drill sa mga schools lang, and not all are joining the earthquake drill, especially sa mga vital facilities, for example, hospitals. So remember that kung nakita natin yung Myanmar, yung isang hospital nag-collapse talaga. So how do we address that issue?
Siguro maybe that is something that our LGU, no, yung ating mga local government units to look into para gawin pong basis din yung nangyari doon para makapag-prepare din dito sa ating mga cities and provinces. Ano po kadalasan, engineer, yung mga common misconceptions, no, about earthquakes, about volcanoes that you would like to address?
Okay, for volcano. Okay, number one is that yung volcano kasi daw, lahat lang surface, lahat lang palibot lang surrounding. Now, that would be the first kasi majority of the volcanoes and the earthquake generators are all parallel. So, hindi basta-basta may magkakaroon ka lang ng volcano. That would be first. Second is that kapag ang volcano hindi na siya nag-erupt, extinct kaagad. Like I said, the life cycle of the volcano or yung tinatawag natin yung geological scale for volcano is in thousands of years. So that would be then third is that yung halos lahat ng mga volcanoes daw kapag nag-erupt violent, which is hindi naman totoo. Because take for example Mount Mayon, if you're going to look at Mount Mayon, perfect cone siya. So being to say, hindi lahat ng mga volcanoes do the destructive eruption. That is for volcano. For earthquake naman is yung kapag naglindol daw, kakainin ka ng lupa kapag nabitak. So that would be the first. Hindi naman yung totoo talaga. So then second is earthquake hindi lang nangyayari during nighttime or kasi yung iba kasi they associate earthquakes during summer, during El Nino. Okay? Kasi mainit daw yung panahon, baka nag-crack na daw yung mga lupa. So they do associate this to earthquake also, which is not true.
Ito po isa sa mga common questions po natin. Engineer, no, na ano po, meron bang signs? Are there warning signs kapag nagkakaroon ng volcanic eruption or major earthquake?
For volcano, medyo meron siguro pa kasi marami mga parameters na titingnan mo. Kaya for example, yung bulging. So kapag may isang volcano, a certain portion of that will bulge o pataas yung lupa. Then yung groundwater, doon din makikita, din yung steaming. But for earthquake, wala. That's the problem because earthquake is sudden. Unless, if you have yung tinatawag naming earthquake swarms, na may mga cluster of earthquakes nangyayari sa isang area, then after a week, a month, may malaking event on that area pa rin, same area, well, you can say that yun ang precursors niya. But in general, sudden talaga siya.
Kaya the more we need to prepare for...
Yes, the more.
Okay, so engineer, recently sa mga earthquake po na happenings, no, sa may South Cotabato area, meron tayong na-monitor ng mga aftershocks. So what are the reasons po na nagkakaroon ng mga aftershocks?
Okay ma'am, ang sequence kasi ng earthquake, tatlo yan. Okay, we have the foreshock, the main shock, and the aftershocks. So, yung usually mas malaki, pinakamalaki yung main shock talaga. Then followed by the aftershocks. Now, the process is ganito. Kapag gumalaw yung bato, so na-displace o na-dislocate yung bato, after that, dahan-dahan pa siya magsisettle. So, yung process of settling down, yun tinatawag natin na aftershocks. Until such time na kapag fully settled na yung bato, or rested na yung bato, that's the time the aftershocks also will cease to exist na.
So, ganito po, engineer, no, with the recent po na increase nga sa ating mga seismic activity in certain areas, regions, what should the residents do? Kasi baka magkaroon nga din ng mga pangamba, takot na baka nga may mga similar happenings na considering that these areas are just here in Mindanao, no, closer lang sa Western Mindanao.
Okay, ang first talagang gagawin talaga, no, is yung preparation. Now, yung preparation kasi, tatlo yung preparation natin. Number one is you prepare for your family. The second is your workplace. And the last is the community. So, before yung sa dalawa, family first. So, dapat each member of the family, dapat naka-orient. Ano yung dapat gawin? So, to make it short, you need to have a family disaster plan. Now, inside that plan, doon mo i-orient yung family, anong dapat gawin, ano yung dapat dadalhin, saan kayo magkita, ano yung dapat gawin sa bahay to be prepared. So these are the things. So the second is mag-join tayo ng mga seminars ba or symposium sa mga disaster.
Online lang po,
Yes,
online lectures.
Kasi usually sasabihin, alam ko na yan. Hindi yan mangyayari. So we have this kind of mentality, yung tinatawag na normalcy bias. So normalcy bias is the tendency for you to underestimate risk. So we always have that. And the same time, last siguro yung pagiging open-minded na things could go wrong. Kasi most of us, alam na natin kasi information for earthquake, volcano, and other hazards or other disasters, nandyan na ngayon. Available na sa internet, available everywhere. But the problem is we don't have time to look at it. So, spend time on it.
Yes, tama po kayo, engineer, no, na isa talaga yan sa mga challenges natin that to be able to educate the people. Kasi all this, itong mga ating information,
Nandiyan na, ma'am.
yes, dissemination, andyan na lang siya. All we need to do is just to encourage them, for them to see, look, and read, no, yung ating mga ganyan mga guidelines.
Spend some time on it.
Engineer, kasama ba sa ating disaster plan sa mga local government units yung, for example, no, I'm sure na meron talagang mga tendencies na panic, 'di ba? Magpapanik, and then it will cause stampede, mga traffic. So for those who are, ang una mo kasing iisipin na pag nasa public area ka or you're in the office and then nangyari yung earthquake, you want to go home to your family. So paano po yung mga, kasama ba siya yung traffic management, yun po?
Yes, ma'am. Dapat kasama yan kasi anything under the sun, apektuhan talaga ng lindol. Okay? So dapat kasama yan. And this is the thing that I want to see in the future. Because medyo hindi siya nakagatugma yung ginagawa nating earthquake drill sa anong may mangyayari sa actual. Kasi sa earthquake drill, you only drop, cover, and hold, takbo ka sa evacuation area, tapos na. But in reality, far more worse because you need the utilities, you need the management of the traffic, flow, everything.
And then one situation I thought was that if you're a parent, magmamadali kang pumunta sa school. So how will the school also handle it, no? Yung ating pagpapalabas sa mga students.
Yes, ma'am. Kaya nga I always emphasize na kapag gumawa ng disaster plan, see to it that everything is included. Not for the sake of covering, then go to the evacuation area, then tapos. It doesn't stop there. Kaya nga, that would be a challenge sa LGU natin to come up with that kind of drill, especially drill. Kasi when we conduct earthquake drill, kahit anong area dito sa Zamboanga Peninsula, when we conduct earthquake drill, parang ang naging mindset lang is, yung drill para sa opisina ko lang yon.
Tama po, no? Kasi yun nga yung ating mga naiisip din na there are a lot of factors that we need to consider if ever magkaroon talaga ng earthquake. Kaya isa rin yun sa mga challenges that you mentioned, that the challenges that our LGU, local government units, should look into. But how about po challenges din sa PHIVOLCS? Ano po yung nakikita nyong challenges in monitoring and predicting or even during natural disasters?
Okay, ang challenges sa amin, sa part ng PHIVOLCS, as one of the thematic areas sa DRRM, we belong sa prevention mitigation. So meaning to say, ang challenge doon is for you to get that message papunta sa point B. Because if yung LGU is not capable of receiving that message from us, doon na, gap na kagad. May gap kagad. But on our part here, sa PHIVOLCS, all of our stations, for example, isa lang, of lahat ng mga stations namin, naka-hybrid na kami when it comes to power. So meaning to say, we have this commercial grid, we have the solar grid. So wala kaming downtime. So even though may earthquake, operational pa rin kami just to get and extract the data para ipapadala sa mga agencies.
Okay, so isa yun sa mga challenge natin, Engineer. Lastly na lang po, Engineer, ano yung ating mga long-term plans, long-term goals, or long-term research projects po that PHIVOLCS currently working on to improve nga yung ating mga disaster prediction and of course mitigation?
Okay, today ma'am, no? Bali, President Marcos signed the modernization of PHIVOLCS, and it involves modernizing the operational procedure, yung technical aspect, yung equipments, and at the same time, yung mga personnel training. So, yun ang long term namin ngayon. Then second is, another long term is yung we train people, especially the LGUs, yung ginagamit natin Hazard Hunter PH, and at the same time yung red dust. So we keep on having this training sa mga LGUs na ngayon. So nakaschedule lahat sila na for them to grasp na if ever there will be an earthquake, they could stand alone sa pagbibigay ng information, anything, and incorporate that sa mga plans nila.
So that's good thing po, no? That's good news that the administration is really focusing din sa ating mga disaster mitigation and plans. That includes the improvement and the research projects for the PHIVOLCS. With that po, Engineer, any message sa ating mga kababayan, lalong-lalo na po sa Zamboanga Peninsula, to always be reminded about...
Okay, baguhin ko lang yung message ko, ma'am. Because for quite some time, we've been experiencing and watching sa mga nangyayari sa ibang bansa, especially sa mga areas ng tamaan ng lindol. And for that reason, sila yung mga aktor ngayon. Tayo ang mga audience dito. So my message is this. I hope if that day will come for us to be the actor, ready tayo.
Thank you very much po, Engineer. That's our goal talaga. Long-term goal is for us to be ready in times of disaster. Any disaster po, no? Thank you very much po once again. We are very happy po to have with us sa ating programa ngayon from PHIVOLCS Zamboanga. We have Engineer Alan Labayog. Thank you, sir. I'm sure marami tayong natutunan. Ako personally, marami po akong natutunan, no? And of course, sana ma-apply natin siya sa ating mga daily lives. Not only, no, we prepare for disaster not only during our drills in offices, in schools, but every day po. That's what we would like to remind, no, sa ating mga residents, not only here in Zampen but in the entire Philippines. With that, muchísimas gracias po again sa ating mga viewers, and thank you to the following sponsors. We have Dunkin, Penguin Zamboanga, Carimadon, and Camiseta, all available here at SMCT Minpro. Sa ngalan pong muli ng PIA Director General Catherine Chloe De Castro and PIA Regional Director Ms. Noemi Edaga, ito si Myra Espinosa para sa PIA Kapihan na Zamboanga. Muchísimas gracias.